Hi everyone, my name is Jimmy Barkan. I've been teaching hot yoga since 1981 and have now certified over 2,000 teachers all across the world. Very proud of that number. We're going to go into the studio today and do another short sequence. I've been getting a lot of requests to do these short little classes because you don't have time to do a full class. So either before work, lunch hour, after work, whenever. And this class is going to be geared toward hip openers. So the Western anatomy, that's one area we can definitely do a lot of work on. So big shout out to Wendy and Janice for helping to demonstrate the class. Might want to watch it first just to see what the sequence is like and then do it with us as many times as you want. So let's head over to the studio and open up those hips. We begin our practice with Chandra Namaskar, salute to the moon. To warm up, hands at your heart center. We'll set a personal intention. Some of you want to work on today, and today it's about hip openers. Arms overhead, create some length between the rib cage and the hips. Exhale, come down into a forward bend, soften here. Bend your knees as much as you need. We're going to lengthen and look up and half lift. Exhale, fold. Lengthen, look up. From a look up position, you can either step back like Janice, or you can jump back to a low plank like Wendy and back up. We do a double chaturanga. Down again into upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. So we start the salute to the moon with a crescent lunge. You're going to swing your right leg through to the front of the mat. Hands on your hips. Bring your arms overhead, drop your shoulders down, and lower down. We're going to try to get that right thigh to parallel to the floor as much as we can, straighten the leg. Now we're going to bring that left knee forward and down to the mat and bring the left knee underneath the hip. We're going to carve out two right angles, right knee over the ankle, left hip over the knee. Come forward, interlace the fingers, head to knee. Inhale up. And exhale back. We're going to push into our shin. Scoop the tailbone. Reach back behind you. And then change. Come back to downward facing dog. Swing the left leg through to crescent. Hands on the hips. Peel your stomach off the thigh. Arms overhead. Drop the shoulders. It's okay to bend the back leg a little bit in the beginning. That'll allow you to get lower. And then straighten the leg. Get to your full position. Hold here. Good. Bring your right knee down. Bring it forward a little bit so it comes under the hip. Interlace the fingers, head to knee, abdominals in. Inhale up. On the exhale back, relax the abdominal walls. Reach back behind you. As you push into your shin, you're going to feel that hip flexor opening and change. Come back to downward facing dog. Then you can step or jump through to the front of the mat and round up heart center and hold. Tree pose or VRKSASANA. You're going to bring your right foot up to the inside part of the thigh. Notice how the heel is going to be inside the thigh. Now Janice is doing the modification if you have a knee issue. Wendy is doing the full expression. It's like a standing half lotus position. Bring your hands to your heart center. As the hip comes forward, the knee's going to go out and back. Now, I'm going to have Janice stay in tree. If your knees are in good shape, and only if your knees are in good shape, watch Wendy. She's going to touch her hands to the floor into toe stand. Touch your hands to the floor. Sitting on her heel. Bring one hand to the heart, the other hand comes up, or you can just as much stay in tree pose to open up that hip. Come up slowly, and we'll do the other side. So left leg up, inside part of the thigh. Once again, Janice is modifying by keeping the foot on the inside, not on the knee. And you can see Wendy's heel directly underneath the navel. Go look at our tree pose toe stand tutorial. If you have a knee issue, stay in the tree. Otherwise, PADANGUSTASANA, limbs of the foot pose or toe stand. as we open up that hip. Come up the same way you went down. And let's turn around and face the back of the room on our first Shavasana. Next pose, SUPTA BHADRASANA, or reclining gentle, or goddess of the hunt pose. You're going to be in the soles of the feet together all the way to the tailbone, allow the knees to open out. In an external rotation, I'm going to have Wendy place your hands at your inner thighs by your hips to help coax the connective tissue into releasing. Palms up would be the alternative. And relax into this position. Other styles of yoga call this bound angle, or Baddha-Konasana. We call it BHADRASANA. If you're seated in this pose, it's considered to be one of the most important meditation seat asanas. Then simply bring your knees together, legs down by your side, palms up. Next pose is Happy Baby, ANANDA BALASANA. You're going to grab a hold of the feet, and we're going to pull the feet down as your knees come toward the floor. Now you can see Wendy's coming on the inside, her grip, and Janice has the outside, your preference. So as you're pulling the feet down, the heels are, think of the heels going to the ceiling and the knees coming to the floor, and you can play with the angle. See, Janice is sort of rocking back and forth and playing with the angle of the hips. And just feel that opening as you exhale. And then slowly change, bring your legs up and down into Shavasana. Arms by your side. And then slowly roll over on your right side, press back into Child Pose, which is also a hip opening position and a lower back stretch. Next pose, what we call 90-90. There's no Sanskrit for this position. So you're going to look at the outside of that, the right side of your mat. That's a 90-degree angle. So come on up. What we're going to do is outline that right angle of your mat with your right thigh. So you can see Janice's right thigh, her knee and her hip are vertical. Then you got to bring your right foot forward a little bit so that that shin is horizontal. And there carves out that first right angle. Now you're going to bring your left foot and dangle it over the right thigh. If this is very difficult for you and you're in agony at this point, Wendy's going to go all the way back onto the ground as a modification and hold that position. If you're really flexible like Janice, you can go into a forward bend and hold here. We're going to stay here for a while and breathe. Remember, as we let the breath go, we create room in the body for range of motion, softening in the hips. Long exhale is going to release that tension, release the fascia, release the connective tissue. Now I'm going to have Wendy come up into a seated position and Janice to come back into a seated position. We're going to bring our right hand in front and twist to the left. And hold here for 2 breaths. Bring our left hand in front, twist to the right for 2 breaths. Come back to a seated position for 2 breaths. You can keep your hands at your back on the floor. 2 breaths. And then shake it out. And let's do the other side. You're going to bring your left leg in underneath and right leg over. Let's get the heel to dangle. Now, I'm going to have Wendy sit up on this position because this is where a lot of you are going to be in a sit-up position. Laying back is the extreme modification. Coming forward and have Janice go forward again because that's a lot of you will be able to do that advanced position. Most of you are going to be where Wendy's position is. You can see her hands behind her, but she's in an upright position. Take a long exhaling breath as you breathe into, again, whatever tension you may have. As we hold this position, An asana tradition and a very unique component to the yogic asana is holding the position. It creates a new muscle memory, eventually a skeletal memory over time. Now we're going to come up. We're going to start twisting this time to the right. Bring your left hand in front, twist to the right. Right hand in front, twist to the left. Come back for 2 breaths into the center. Hold here. And shake it out. GOMUKASANA, or cow face pose. You're going to bring your left leg in underneath you and right leg over. You're going to cross your legs as you come forward. See how they come forward and separate your feet? And then you can either sit down between your feet like Janice, or you could use a block like Wendy. Just sit on that block. Good. Now you can interlace the fingers, keep them right by your top knee if you want, just to soften those hips and breathe into it. Or the full expression of the pose, you bring your right elbow above your head and clasp the hands behind your back. You can use a towel or a strap to modify. Arguably one of the original 84 poses passed down through the ages. Now, you can either change, like Wendy's just going to change her legs, or you can twirl like Janice all the way around to the other side. And like magic, you're properly positioned. Stay in this pose. You can either keep your fingers interlaced at the knee, or you can bring your left elbow above your head, clasp the hands. Little hot yoga factoid. This is Bikram's meditation seat of choice. He would sit like this before he did the motorcycle on the nail bed and did his Shatoli breathing for a long period of time. And change, shake it out. And our last pose of the day, Ikapada Kopatasana, one-legged pigeon. First go to tabletop. Downward facing dog. So we're going to sweep the right leg up in the air, swing it through to the right corner of the mat. This time the knee's going to go to the outside of your hip, unlike 90-90. To modify, Janice has magically produced 2 blocks. Take a block underneath your right buttocks cheek. And if you need that block under the right buttocks cheek, or you need one for your head, that's going to keep your hips and your knees and your head in the same line. Otherwise, you're going to come all the way down, touch your elbows, head to the ground, and soften into this position. Long exhaling breath. With the eyes closed, we shift our focus. Now it's an internal focus, what we call in yoga pratyahara, to withdraw from the senses. Let's take one more long, deliberate breath in and out. Slowly change back to downward dog. Let's shake out those hips, shake out the legs. Sweep the sky with the left leg, swing it through. This time I'm going to have Janice not use the blocks. And you can see more advanced, her left foot can come more forward to parallel the knee. Down you go, touch your elbows and head. And then feel the difference one side to the other. In yoga, we want to find the symmetry. We want to have the awareness, what's the challenge side, what's the open side. And the trick is pay a little more attention to the challenge side. Letting again the exhaling breath help you find your full expression. And with the eyes closed, once again, it's not so much about asana now, it's about the experience. What the posture, the experience the posture brings us to. Let's take a long, deliberate breath in and out. Very slowly change back to downward facing dog. Shake it out. Let's turn around and relax for a final Shavasana. we consider to be the most important moment, even in the short session, allowing the circulation and breath to flow into the channels of the body we call the nadis, physical ethereal conduits. I thank you for allowing me to lead you in this practice today. See you next time. Namaste. And that is our episode for today. Thank you to Wendy and Janice for helping to demonstrate. If you like this format, let me know. We'll give you more of these classes, these short little 15, 10-minute workout classes. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell. Then you get notified when I post a new video. Hit the like button. Any questions, put them in the comments below. I get to all the comments. Love to hear from you. And I thank you for joining us. See you at the next video.